Aloha and good afternoon, fellow travelers. It's just Jeremiah here, leaving my place, headed down to Pro Service, which is the HR company that manages the new hires at my job at Il Lupino. Il Lupino is such a weird name. If I just added the consonant F in front of it, it's Filipino. For real, Il Lupino. Filipino. It's Wolfgang's baby, so he would never change it or rebrand it, so I'm going to stay away from that topic for sure. But yeah, work's going well. I mean, I busted out like $200+ night last night bartending. I kill it with the tips and the schmoozing. I remember every single person's name. I repeat it back to them every single time I interact with them. Squirrely Traver, would you like another drink? Dave, this is Squirrely Traver. She's from such and such a place. And then I get everyone to start talking to each other every time I interact. I have my notepad when I need to cheat till I don't have to cheat. And I am a schmoozer for sure. I know how to sell the items that are expensive in a way that doesn't make them feel like they're being pushed around. Yeah, and the tips are good. I think last night we did about $400 in tips between us. And then we'll get our tip out from the servers as well. But we did about $400 in tips between us, where I handled most of the guest stuff. And the other bartender, she's amazing. She's great at the guests and great at the drinks. But at this moment, I'm still learning their drinks. So she was busting out the fast stuff. I was schmoozing the guests. But at $1,500 in sales, $400 in tips, it's not too bad, honestly. What is that in percentage? It's not quite 30%, but it's like 27%. You know, bartenders do tend to average towards 25-30% when they're schmoozers. When they just play on their phone and are order takers, yeah, they don't make shit always. And they're like, fuck those people. Dude, you get what you give. At Sky, when I take photos of people while busing, I make about 20 to 40 bucks extra each day in side tips. It's not my intention. My intention is to make people feel like Ohana, to make people feel aloha. These aren't just words, these are actions. And when you live up to them, and people are here for those exact feelings, you get what you give. You know, people don't understand why I'm doing all that extra. But they don't need to know, and they don't need to know the extra benefits. So yeah, I'm gonna go down to Pro Service, going to get the new hire stuff so that I can actually start getting my paychecks from Il Lupino, which means, again, Little Wolf in Italian. And sorry, one second. Hi there. And I'm going to head into work early. I mean, rather than lay in bed, I was sleeping. It felt nice. Tomorrow's going to be my first day without a morning obligation in over a week, while working again till midnight and not getting home till 12:31. So yeah, I'm stoked to like sleep in tomorrow. Although one of these days I gotta go for a hike. I haven't hiked since my friend Agatha left, and you don't have the YouTube stuff I've heard because I think I lost it on my phone. But man, Agatha was the shit. I can't wait to like go back. Some of the videos have to have her in them. We had so much fun. That girl is amazing. She's over in India right now. She left her home in Barcelona. She is a life coach. She's a psychologist who stopped doing psychology because she didn't find it fulfilling. And she does virtual life coaching. She gets people prepped for interviews. She got a woman prepped who was accepted from over 140,000 applicants to become a European astronaut. And while going for the job interview against like 400 other astronauts or something, Agatha got to coach her on how to prepare for the interview. So Agatha's like super smart, an amazing chick. And she is in India at a wedding for some friends. She loved it so much she stayed an extra week or two. Hopefully I get to see her again soon. We're talking about backpacking the John Muir Trail together this next year. Maybe this year. Forget why I jumped on that tangent, except some awesome person who I miss. Oh, I haven't hiked since I was with her. Like, shit, I met her at Christmas, so we're talking about January, February, March. It's been 2 months since I've hiked or gone snorkeling. All work and no play makes Johnny a dull boy. I'm gonna jump on it, I promise, and then you're gonna get to see it because I'm gonna be doing this fun little, oh, Jeremiah, blah, 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 blah thing. But it's gonna be cool because it's gonna be lighthearted and not just about work or traveling from work or to work. So maybe I should go tomorrow and maybe I should get it in. I love you guys. It's so cool having people like you, friends like you. Yeah, thank you for being you. Take care. They were so nice in there. Jerome was awesome. His hair was so slick. He cuts it himself. It's free. I'm like, man, I need to get on my skills for cutting my own hair. Then I could always look slick. I'm already in need of a new haircut. Now it's off to work. I say and like too much. I'll work on it. So, Sarah Jane Bangarang just got out of jail. She messaged me. She's doing well. She read most of the Bible. She is, you know, she got a bunch of views on her and a bunch of subscribers from her video. Her YouTube's doing well. I don't know exactly what happened, but I really like Sarah, and I feel that she, yeah, I don't know. I know no one's perfect, and I'm not saying she is, but I feel like she had defended herself, and, you know, just the way that she's looking for the video while the other girl's looking to make sure it doesn't get out anywhere, that speaks volumes. Phoenix is saying that if anyone has that video, you can't film me, you need to get rid of it, send it my way, blah, 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 whereas Sarah's like, hey, I want a judge of character. If you can send me like any negative or positive things you feel about me, please let me know. And I'd like this video. You know, she's not telling anyone to get rid of it. To me, that speaks volumes. But I think I'm gonna reach out to her. Something else to say is What Lurks Beneath. You gotta check out their channel, especially if you like the creepy stuff I talk about. What Lurks Beneath, they're, yeah, I've been in touch with him lately, and it turns out that a lot of my stories and a lot of my research and a lot of my experiences on the road towards the darker ends that I touch on line up with all the videos they've been doing. Some personal experiences I've had even since childhood that talks about MK Ultra, the transhuman revolution, the missing people in the United States, the New Age movement and counterculture movements, being a smokescreen for CIA satellite organizations that are into the dark occults. And I've basically been, he keeps saying I keep blowing his mind with all the information I have because it really ties in a lot of things that he's touching on. He's touching on the satanic occult, the park rangers potentially being a part of it, the government doing it. He's talking about, you know, the potential for shapeshifters and interdimensional beings that we might call demons in some cultures. And yeah, I've got like the bigger picture from having infiltrated the New Age movement and done my private investigative journalism. And he's so impressed that he actually wants to offer me a job becoming one of his writers. And he's not offering me half as much as the minimum requirement that Google states. Google states you should at least get paid 2 cents a word. So he's offering me $50 for 5,000 words. That's a penny a word. But I think what I might do is, since his channel grew by 50,000 followers in the past month alone, I might tell him, hey bro, you give me a penny per 100,000 followers you have. And that'll start out, since he's at 115, at 1.15 cents per word I write. But then as he gets up to like 1 million followers, you're talking about 10 times that. So that would be like, what? Sorry, 1 second. You know, times 10, it's 10 cents a word. Times 5,000, that's $500 per essay I write. And yeah, I think I'm gonna tell him, hey man, I'm gonna write the first one at your rate, but I have to tell you that it's half what Google's suggesting. And that's not even for someone that has to do research, because I have to research this stuff. And I said that we can work towards doing this, or we can create a higher price, because I can't undersell myself when I have so many things going on my own. And honestly, I could just make this content and do it on my own channel. So I'm gonna give them, that's how I usually do it for jobs. Show them what I'm worth, give them what I'm worth, and say, hey, this is my negotiating chip, it's me and what I'm worth, you know? How well did this do? How well is it going to do? Yeah. I'm gonna catch up on stuff. I'm at the store. I've got to get stuff. I forget. A new charger. Someone stole my charger, my $30 block from my job at El Lupino. Scumbag. Go fucking stop being a scrub to your table so you can make better tips. You don't have to steal shit to get by. What a scumbag. So I got to get a new charger for my phone and maybe get some food and head to work at Sky. Loving you. Yeah, so I spent $40 on a new charger. That's what it had cost me, what they took. Whatever. Hopefully their life improves to the point where they don't have to steal from their fellow coworkers just to get by. So maybe they're struggling, and maybe they've got an addiction to kleptomania, and maybe I should show compassion rather than contempt for the anonymous theft of my possessions from a coworker. So since that is an option, why not take it? I mean, if I've got to buy this stuff anyways, why spend any energy being angry about it? I can just feel grateful that I have the ability to buy it because I take care of my guests well enough. Again, I made $35 extra yesterday or 2 days ago by, your dog is so cute. I made $35 yesterday, 2 days ago by giving photos to people, and because I go above and beyond, I can afford to buy it again. So as much as it sucks that they've stolen that extra energy from me, maybe they need it, and hopefully they can improve. Gonna let you go. Catching the bus shortly. Hey there, fellow travelers. It looks like I get a night off on my 7-day week. Yeah, so I had 2 things happen. The one busser that I've been complaining about acting like he's my boss, he just got elevated to my boss. I told him, man, you're a hard worker, and I hate to say it, he's a much better worker than the girl he's replacing, who just hides and waits till the end. But, again, that's why he has been coming at me and trying to undermine me, and anything that I'm doing to make things run more smooth, he's trying to stop. And today he was just so passive aggressive. After I told him I was happy for him, and congratulations. People like that, they take that stuff as weakness. But I'm still gonna do it. Even if it hurts me, I'm going to make sure to give people my very best. And so basically, like, there's a cart that I would set on the other side of the dish window, so when the dish window fills up, people aren't precariously balancing it there and breaking stuff and costing product. And so I had a cart there. So he would see things that I did like that and just hate that it makes me look good. And I'm not doing it because it makes me look good, I'm doing it because it's efficient. And so he moved the cart, and I was just like, hey, may I put the cart over there? And he's just like, oh, it's all good, it's all good. And I'm like, no, I'm asking for a yes or no. Like, he wouldn't give me clear answers all night. And then there's another busser who was there, and he's like, hey, do you want to be in the back or the front? And I'm like, well, why don't you decide? He's like, no, you decide. So I'm like, I'll take the back, so I can work on my relations with the kitchen, with that, I won't say the C word, but with that kind, young chef back there who dislikes me. And so I decided to take the kitchen, and then he comes back. Oh yeah, he told me to ask, I had told him I'd ask the other busser what she wanted. So she came by, and I was like, what do you want to do? She's like, you decide. And I'm like, no, you decide. She's like, no, you decide. And I'm like, I'll take the kitchen. So then he comes by, and he's like, hey man, she wanted to take the kitchen. And I'm like, well, she told me that she didn't. And he's like, right? And then, like, while I was bussing, he would always try to tell me what to do. And I'm sorry, but he's one of those fake people that smiles big and has no actual mahala, or no actual aloha. He's just a fake person. And I can tell he really doesn't like white males. But get used to it on this island. So I went in the back, and then I'm in the back, and he's like, hey man, you gotta make sure to stay back here, but blah, 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 make sure you run the food. And I'm like, stay back here or run the food? And he's like, yes. So he's literally just trying to like make stuff up and create a psychological double bind, which I've studied psychology, I know what that is, I know what he's doing. And the chef says, no, it's not busy back here, go out there, you can be out on the floor. And he's like, no, you're staying back here. And I'm like, it's your first day managing, and the chef just told me to stay on the floor. He's like, no worries. And I'm like, that's not an answer, man. So he's being very difficult and passive aggressive. And so I just smiled it off and did my thing like I always do. You know me, you've seen how I deal with struggle. Like, fuck it, water under the bridge. And so I go out there and I'm bussing and stuff, and I'm helping take photos in between doing work. And he's like, hey man, you're not gonna be taking photos anymore. It's first day, you know what I mean? Like, there's a 3.2 TripAdvisor review on Google because they're saying that no one gives a shit there. And I'm the guy like taking photos, smiling, making sure the servers are set, you know, filling waters, pre-bussing, bussing. Like, I'm doing like 3 people's job by myself. And he said that about the photos, and I'm like, just to be clear, there's a 3.2 on TripAdvisor, you know, and it's because there's no Mahalo, no Aloha, and they're not treated like Ohana. I said, I get it. I'll do what you say. You're a manager. But just so you know, these are things that I was building up here at the restaurant. And then the cart thing. So basically he's going to them and saying that, like, you can go. He's saying that, basically acting like I'm doing way worse than I am. Well, all I'm doing is asking for clarification from a manager. And he's a manager in training. He's not even a manager. You know, I'm sorry, he couldn't manage to wipe his own fucking ass, I'm sure. What a douchebag. And honestly, like, all the other managers are dressed up fancy. He's got a flannel shirt on and some blue jeans. Get a life. And so, and so eventually, like, I was a little pissy, but I opened the door, made a loud noise, and some lady's like, some guest, she's like, and she's like, you're not getting a tip. And I was like, you know what? I don't take that shit from people. You know, don't be rude to me. And I said to her, what I said to her was, I said, miss, I said, that's rather inappropriate. And she's like, what do you mean? I was kidding. Can't you take a joke, you jackass? I was like, miss, we don't let people talk to us that way here. It's not acceptable behavior, and our owner does not let anyone talk to us this way. And she's like, blah, 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 blah. Fucking Karen, you know? And so I'm like, all right, miss, well, I hope you have a nice evening. And so they went right away, of course, and told management, who's Eric, the new guy. And so he's just so happy, right, to like come and tell me this. And so, so basically, this is so nice. I'm gonna have days off now, and I have enough, everything's good. And so basically, the other guests were like, what happened? Why were they so rude to you? And like, we heard it all, but what happened? I said, well, the door was loud, she was rude. And I just let her know that it's not an acceptable way to talk to people, and that that's not anything we allow at the restaurant. And they're like, okay, cool, well, we got your back. We'll tell exactly what happened. And I was like, dude, you don't have to. Don't get drawn in. They're like, no, we want to. So Eric came over with the other manager. And I'm sorry, but it's specifically all the people that aren't white at my job, which that one there's very few of. But they all fucking hate me, specifically. And I'll tell you, the way I act is the person I am. You know, I spent like $10 on snacks to share with the kitchen in the front of house today. I brought like dark chocolate and Starburst, and I smile and I tell everyone how great of a shift we're gonna have and a positive morale. And that's why those people hate me. And I don't mean those people like the people that aren't white, but I'm saying the people that don't give a shit. I'm sorry, but locals have had it too easy everywhere you go. It has nothing to do with color. They have it easy everywhere you go, and they scratch each other's backs. Leaves no room for growth or improvement. And it just so happens that the locals here are also in a culture that specifically does not like white people. So it's just a double whammy. It has nothing to do with them being a different color than I am. It has to do with me being a different color than them. And yeah, so they came and they cornered me, and they're just like, you're gonna go home. You've been harassing people. They're saying that I was harassing Eric, the guy that was harassing me. It was all by design, you know what I mean? And I can't help but feel like it was designed by the chef and Eric together, specifically to get me out of there, because they don't want anyone showing them up, because narcissists need a scapegoat, and I was their scapegoat, and they need me to look like shit because they want all the praise for themselves. And here's how much I'm worried. I get a night off, you know? Filipino would have me work 60 hours a week there plus, so I could get time and a half, get 15 an hour for the extra 20 to 30 hours. They would let me work 7 nights a week and some lunches. Like, they treat me like gold there, and they're far from perfect, but the staff treats me really nicely, and they're all just a little bit weird like me. A lot of them were in the gifted program. They're older, they're professional. It's not me walking around picking up trash off the floor and pre-bussing the tables for all the, like, pre-bus your fucking table. Full hands in, full hands out. I love the people at Sky, but no one's ever given them the guidance needed to be a proper server. You know, they're good, but they could be great, let alone excellent. And I've been like the lead server at almost every restaurant I'm at more than 2 months. I train people right away. I'm training people at El Lupino. On like my 3rd day busing, I was training a busser, you know. And so, look how pretty it is. What's that? Hey, what's going on? How are you?
Well, I tore my bicep muscle.
No way.
Yeah, you see that?
You want the salad?
I need a beer, dude. I'm dying in pain.
Sorry, I don't even drink. I got a salad though. It's not the same.
Get down. I've got so much food on my stuff. But
No, I get you. I'm sure someone got you. Hey, what's your name?
Stuart.
Stuart. Nice to meet you. I'm sorry I'm not showing as much compassion as you might like.
I'm pushing the hard stuff.
Dude, you got to keep pushing hard.
But it's serious though. It's really hurts.
Can I offer a suggestion? Unsolicited advice. Get a piece of cardboard with a marker and write, "I won't lie, I just want beer." And just sit there and smile. You'll make like $100 in a night and a bunch of beer. And I hope that doesn't come across like I think I'm better than anyone, but I panhandled for a year. I did that with weed. Had a big sign.
I've been trying to get around to it, but I haven't.
Where do you stay? I'll bring you a marker sometime.
I have one in my bag right now.
You want me to make it for you? I'll go find cardboard. I'll make it for you. I'm an artist, man.
Okay.
I do marketing.
All right.
I'll make it right now. I promise you. You want me to?
Okay.
All right. Give me 5 minutes. I'll find cardboard. Yeah, that's me. I'm going to go dig in a dumpster for some guy who's struggling. And I'm going to enable him by helping him get beer. But I'm going to help him do it in a way that's not being aggressive towards people because they can choose instead of feeling like obligated because he's asking. No one wants the aggressive panhandler. So I'm going to go to that gas station or this ABC and ask if they have extra cardboard. I'll tell them I'm moving something. That's what you do. You go in there because that's what I used to do when I was homeless. Hey, say, hey, I'm moving stuff and I need an extra box. Do you by chance have one handy? Check it out. I'll be right back. This is going to be great. Still got the touch. Check it out. Oh my gosh. So cool. I'm going to go give it to the guy, and I'm not trying to exploit someone because they're desperate for my help. You don't help people just to exploit them. That's why the camera's not in his face. I could say, hey, could I interview you, this or that? It might make a great interview, but that's the thing. I'm not trying to make him feel obligated. If I was just coming to talk to him, you know, and not give him stuff, I might ask him. But I'm not going to make him feel like he's some sort of freak show. Do you ever help? I'm putting the cardboard somewhere that matters. Yeah, when you help someone, do it to help them. Don't do it to make yourself look good. This has nothing to do with me trying to look good. This has to do with me trying to share methods that all of us can use to show compassion to people that you might not otherwise show compassion for. That might sound awful high and mighty of me, but I feel like it's good to be proud of doing these things. But yeah, don't show the person and then give them a fucking dollar. That's just, it's plain rude. I'm gonna go now. Later, just gonna walk home and enjoy the night. Man, I'm so cheesy. I was in there and there's this beautiful, tall, like German woman. Oh my gosh. Really pretty. And she had her baby there, like a 3-year-old toddler. The baby's like me as a kid. The stroller's rolling everywhere. And I went to pull out my change so I could buy my favorite wafer candy thing, even though I just had like a peanut butter Oreo milkshake before work. Gotta keep that dad bod up. I'm getting too skinny. Well, yeah, so I went to pull out my change and I dropped 3 Starburst and I dropped them right in front of the kid. Kid's like, but I gave them to the girl behind the register because there's 3 people, and she accepted. And I was like, oh man, now I feel like a big meanie. I said, I just dropped candy in front of that kid and didn't give it to it. And the girl goes, behind the register, she goes, is that your kid? I go, no. I go, this woman's too beautiful for that to be my kid. And the lady beamed. Super cheesy, but damn, that girl was pretty. I don't know why I love tall girls, probably because I have no chance. And for whatever reason, I like to be intimidated by women. Not that it needs to be a conquest per se. I just don't want something that's easy. And so, yeah. Hey, I know some girls in town that I'm talking to. I should see what they're up to. All right, I'm gonna check that out later.